Hi Greedy 3Ds, welcome back to the channel. As promised in my last video, Luke Skywalker is now done and finished and sat proudly on top of his tauntaun. You've been watching the previous videos, I hope, and you've seen me create this diorama. If you want to get this diorama for yourself, there will be a link in the description where you can get it from. I've done a little bit of a change to it. I've took Han Solo off, which was on the original, and I've put a probe droid on. That is the joy of 3D printing all your own stuff. You can change whatever you want to change. It's so exciting. Each print is completely unique and completely different, and that's what I love about 3D printing. So if you want to see how I've done old Luke Skywalker today, stay tuned. We'll start off with some Nomad Flesh to lay some skin tones down on Luke's face, and I'm just using this through my airbrush to give him a base layer. Now all these colours are from the Army Painter Mega Air set. You can buy them separately. They come as part of a triage colour, with Barbarian Flesh being the mid-tone range, and as you can see I'm just hitting it from above there. It's a lighter colour, so it would look like the sunshine or the light is hitting that face from above, and Wildling Flesh is the third in the triad, and that would be the lightest colour that hits it pretty much all over the areas that the sun or the light would hit. Get it from the item description if you want to know where to get it from. And that's the base colour tones down. We're going to do some more work a little later on onto those. Now, if you want to see the difference in the colours, there they are just on the base of my spray booth. You can see the change in colour, and you can see the darker colour going to light. Now, moving on to some leather brown, I'm going to go across his kind of tank top, his jacket there, and I'm going to give it a coat all over. I'm using the airbrush with a little bit of precision so I don't get it all over the rest of the model, and I don't get it all over those skin tones that I've just done. And with a little bit of practice, you can do this too with your airbrush. Just take your time and practice first if you're a little bit not confident to do that, but it won't take long before you're hitting the spots that you want to hit with your airbrush. Exactly the same colour across where the tunic comes down onto his trousers, and also all across the trousers, again a base layer of that leather brown colour too. Now for some lighter tones, I'm using some Bulwark Brown, and what I'm going to do with this is very similar to what we did with the skin tones. I'm just going to go over some of the areas of his jacket that would naturally catch the reflection of the sun. Now before we move further in this, just remember that an awful lot of Luke here is going to be covered in snow at the end, but that doesn't mean that we can't do a little bit of precision and a little bit of practice work on our model. So just get those highlighted tones on there, and now we're going to do exactly the same to the trousers by giving them a highlighted tone. But what we must also now do is do a lower tone where the shadows would hit and where the darker areas of his trousers would look a different colour. And to do that, we're using some of this, some Agrax Earthshade from Citadel, and I'm going to do exactly the same but in a different kind of direction, coming up from below, so where the shadow hits. And this Agrax is like a brownie wash, really good through airbrushes and great for adding your shadows. I'm going to go under his arms, and I'm going to also look at the folds and the crevices of his uniform, and I'm going to go into the lower areas of those to add that dark shadowy colour that would naturally look like in those areas. Exactly the same on the trousers. There's quite a few creases on the trousers, so we'll do a little bit more work on those. So 3 colours really is all you need. You need your mid colour, your high colour and your low colour. Your high colour will come as if the light is coming down from above, and your shadow or your darker colour comes from the bottom where the shadows would naturally be. That's all you need to know. And when you've done all your work, we need to protect it, and I'm using some of this Rust-Oleum clear to protect that work. I don't want it coming off, and there's going to be other bits and pieces doing too, and I'm going to need to mask that whole model off soon to do some more painting, so I'm protecting it. Now once the Rust-Oleum clear is on, give it a good few hours to harden before you do anything else. Now the next step for me was to add some masking tape to the face and to the bits we've painted, so I can get at the boots and I can get at the rest of the top part of his body. And to do the top of the body, I'm using this is some bleached bone from the same painter set, the Air Mega set, and I'm going to use it through the airbrush to give him a lighter tone right the way across, all across his face and helmet. Don't forget, all the bits that you want to protected are already protected with that masking tape. Some rawhide brown for the boots. I wanted a darker colour for the boots. Again, On this model, an awful lot of the model is going to have some snow on it, so you can get away with a few mistakes, but try not to put any on there, but it's a good way to practice this. So a darker colour brown on the boots, and that's what it looks like when we've taken off all the masking tape. And you can already see wonderful contrast. The masking tape's done its job. There's a few areas of touch up, but that's always going to be the case with masking. But that is now all ready for the next step. And I'm not going to show you the painting of the face process because I've done that in a myriad of videos, but needless to say, it's the same process I've followed with all my other videos, and if you want to check those out, you can find them in the description. And that's what his face looks like. And now I'm going to just do a few more bits to the face, a few of the added extras. We're going to paint his visor, and for that I've used this colour, which you can get from Vallejo, which is a really wonderful colour for the visor. I've done a little bit to his walkie-talkie on his head there and the strap around, and I've just covered some lines in the parts around his face with a wash, and that's the face done and dusted. Again, it's going to have some snow on at the end, but that looks really good and I'm pleased. The other thing I've done is I've worked on his DL44 blaster. It's just had a black base layer, a silver dry brush, and I've gone over some of the areas with the silver. And again, the gloves have just had exactly the same bleach coat, and I think it looks like a really accurate representation, really good print from the guys. The only other thing you need to know is the snow I'm using is this terrain snow, and I'm using some green stuff World Liquid Frost, which I've popped on top. So let's have a look what the end result looks like. Hope you've enjoyed it. Well, there we go. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today. Hope you found some inspiration somewhere in that video to maybe go and do your own diorama. Now, if you have enjoyed what you've seen today, there's a few ways you can support the channel. Like, subscribe and share. Every subscription is very, very precious, and it helps the video get shared with other people so everybody can see our hobby, which is really important. If you want to buy anything, you can get stuff from the description. If you like the paints that I use, if you want to see the printer that I use, all of those things are listed in the item description. And if you want to buy from there, a little bit will kick back to the channel, but it will not cost you guys a penny more, as an Amazon affiliate link is what it is. So it won't cost you guys, but a little bit kicks back. And finally, if you want to join the Patreon scheme, all the information will be in the description as well. And I just want to say a really quick thank you from the bottom of my heart to my patrons. They really, really do help me and allow me to continue doing what I love doing and support the channel so much. And don't forget, if you're a Patreon or if you want to join the Patreon scheme, very, very soon, a Captain Britain file, which has just landed on my lap, which I'm test printing and painting, will be winging its way to you. So as a thank you for your support. So again, hope you've enjoyed today. Stay tuned to the channel and we'll see what we're going to do next time really, really soon.